What's up, VW Lifers? Jake and myself here are on lockdown like everybody else is out there. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna give you guys a episode on what to do during the pandemic, or what we do, the Texas Junk Kings, are doing during the pandemic on lockdown. So, a couple of things we're doing right here. Buy your oil in 5-quart things. It's cheap. But if you ever try to pour this inside of a bus, it's impossible. So what you have to do is you have to transfer it to little quart cans. Or, well, these aren't cans. That shows you how old I am. These are bottles now. It's really expensive when you buy it like in these quarts. But if you buy it by 5 quarts, it's cheaper. And then you just dump it into the quarts. There you go. A little tip right there for you. Along that same line, I have ran Castrol Gtx 2050. Now, we're in Texas, so it gets hot down here. But I've never had any oil-related failures. So I've been running Castrol 2050 since dinosaurs were not oil yet. That's true. Don't give me that look, Jake. Well, we're starting to work on Gilbert, getting some headway on, that's our 71 Westie. Previous owners decided to paint everything, and it's one of those things you run into sometimes. So I'm not sure what kind of paint they used, but it wasn't very good. So literally they slap paint on the dash. You can see, look at this, Jake's getting these grill covers. Look at the funk on there. So we're gonna have to really do a lot of work to get this back to where it's supposed to be, that kind of semi-gloss flat black. But the bus itself's pretty dry, but this is literally a complete, this is not our norm. We haven't done one of these since we did Z. This is a restoration, not a roadstoration, because this thing needs a lot. Last night, ordered all the seals for it and everything like that, and let's just say my stimulus check is keeping the economy rolling. We'll leave it at that. So I feel good about that, you know, putting it back in the economy to the Volkswagen community. So, which is a thing, man. We got a lot of Volkswagen companies out there. I'll name a few: Wolfsburg West, J-Bugs, Bus Depot, Wolfgang. Those are some of the West Coast Metric. These are the guys I trade with. They're struggling, like all of us are. And you can go online and order junk just like that off of Amazon if you want. Save yourself a few bucks. But I think Bezos got enough money right now. Let's help out some of these Volkswagen people, okay? Spend a little bit more if you need to, but keep these guys in business, because we need them. They were here when we need them, and they will be here. So help support the Volkswagen community.
So every time we pull apart, screw, piece of trim, anything off of old Volkswagen that we're restoring, we take it and we clean it. We got a parts cleaner behind me. It's full of mineral spirits that we picked up for free, so you know it's good. We got a wire wheel, we got a sandblaster, and we get it ready to go. So when it's time to put it back on, we know it's done. And all we gotta do is add the silver paste and it's back on. All right, for those of y'all that don't know, sandblasting is where you take sand and you mix it with air, and it comes out really fast, and it gets to scrape off rust, old paint, and all that stuff. It's really nice to get stuff kind of down to its bare metal. And so what we do is we take compressed air from in there through the hose into our little blasting cabinet in here, comes in here, and then that's where the magic happens, where it gets scraped out. And then we set it up with a vacuum using as a fan to suck out all the excess dust so we can see better. Boom, you got a before. You have all this rough paint, all that. You can just see in here, that's not supposed to be like that. And then after sandblasting and wire wheeling, it's all nice and shiny and clean, getting ready to get mineral spirits and painted.
Put some paint on it. Not a long ways down the road from that though, Jack. Big facts. Deviled ham. We haven't been in the store in 10 days. This is why we bought this kind of stuff.
You or somebody you know have a transmission that just won't stay up in your bus? Well, come on down to Texas Junk King's Transmission Mount Repair. For $89.95, I'll set you up with a transmission mount that will hold your tranny up while your motor is out.
Hey VW Lifers, hey, we're here in what we call the eBay room, but not necessarily eBay room. And we have extra parts, things like, look at this lovely window regulator off of a 1261 Beetle. This is a right side window regulator. This was out in the boneyard this morning, so I sandblasted it, and now it looks really good. So it's been media blasted, and I'm going to post it up on the Samba because somebody out there in Volkswagen land might need one of these. And this one functions really good, and it's in great shape. Isn't it cool that Volkswagen stamps the date on there and there's the part number, everything like that? I really like that when you're trying to like make sure you know what you have. What we're gonna do is this is going out. We'll put this in a box and ship it out as soon as we can. So we just got to figure out what kind of box we're gonna put it in. But that's one of the things we do here at VW Life. Thanks for tuning in.
What all do you put in your boxes, Pops?
Oh, well, sometimes you'll get some Texas Junk King stickers and some Harvest stickers and some VW Life business cards and TJK cards, and if you really buy a lot from me, you get a VW Life sticker.
All right, VW Lifers, that was Monday, so we're gonna kind of go on the rest of the week here and see what we got going. But as you can see, Orange Menace is done. We got Boomer over there. It's a little rainy day, but you know, sometimes you just got to get in the shop and get some stuff done. And but hey man, it's all part of VW Life, is getting things done. Thanks for sticking around. See the rest of our week.
Hey Jake, today we're going to work on Gilbert's bus, buddy.
Yes, sir.
We're going to roll it out, finish working on the driver's door, taking some pieces off of that, finishing up the dash, and then we'll probably start doing a little DA sanding and start working on I think we'll probably work on the exterior first because it's going to take a little more work.
We got to move a couple cars just to get one out.
We do have to do that. So, and you strapped up the transmission so it'll roll real nice yesterday. Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, sir.
And so let's get busy. So on Gilbert here, again, this is a little bit more than what we're used to as far as work involved. It's a complete restoration, kind of like what we did with HB's. We did this with Ziggy. So we're not going to try to remove the whole dash just because that just opens up a whole another can of worms. But on a bay, they're not too terrible. A few things to undo here and some screws underneath. We do have another dash, but this one I think is going to clean up okay. So we're just going to take off some of the trim pieces that we can clean. We already got this cluster out. I'll show you what we did on that real quick. Not necessarily, I'm not going to assume that when they put this together that it was wired. But I just simply, instead of like trying to say what color, I just put numbers on here and then just labeled the wires numbered. But we're gonna have to double check that because who knows what the POs did on it. Look at that. That's a lovely piece of work right there. But we have another gauge cluster, so we'll pull that plastic trim piece off for that. That's kind of what we're doing right now. Just we're getting prepped so we can start doing some body work. So we want to kind of just get as many little pieces off that we can save, that we can get it cleaned up. That's another thing we're doing right now is anytime we pull something off, we're going to clean it, put it in and get it sorted, get all the bolts on it, everything together, and then we'll put it on the rack. And that way, when it's time to to assemble, there's no cleaning. It's just like got it install. So that's a slow process. It takes a long time. I mean, obviously we haven't even started the body work yet, but we'll get there. So stay tuned.
It'd be really cool to find like a giant stash of cash or other stuff.
So, somebody came to buy that table. Okay. Instead, Jake had them. They said the other one was too big. So look at that. That's how we handle hot things during the lockdown. We don't touch anything. So Jake, that's VW Life right there, baby. Stop working on a bus just for a little bit to pick up some cash. Go to the cash bucket. We'll launder that. We'll wash that, not launder it. And Simple Green as the official sanitizer of the TJK. Didn't lose a sale. Good job, buddy.
All right, VW Lifer. So what we gotta do now is I gotta come in here on this dash, and it's pretty jacked up. Everything in this bus is painted white. As you can see, there's a little rust here, nothing too crazy. Definitely seen worse cows. So I'm gonna come in here and wire wheel this, but first I'm gonna lay down a protective layer of tape here to kind of prevent that from getting damaged while my my craziness of wire wheeling. I'm pretty dangerous with those things. So we'll see how this goes. What's a Tuesday night like around here, old man?
Good question there, Jake. Well, we're gonna package up a few items. During the lockdown, we've been restoring Volkswagen jacks. This is for 65 through 69. You can see a couple of things. See this piece right here? On later, it's a press piece. It's not a cast piece like this. And these come with the all-inclusive Tommy bar. Sometimes those are hard to come by. So we're gonna package that up. That's gonna go to a good friend of ours lives over in Golden Triangle of the great state of Texas. So we're going to send that over there to them today. Package that up. That goes into a nice flat rate box. Then we're going to package up a VW On the Road Again kit. Look at this little jewel right here. Okay, a complete Volkswagen On the Road Again kit. You've seen these before. These are little kits we put together. Sits in your Volkswagen. Got just about everything you need in there. A complete set of tools, points. There's just so many things. Cap, rotor, fuel filter, generator belt, test light. And then what I really like is we also put in, we customize these for folks, and we put in a accelerator cable. And this fella has a 70 Beetle. So we're gonna go through our stash here. It's like 66, look at that right there. 67, 71 Beetles all took the same accelerator cable. So that's gonna be packaged up and mailed out tonight, going out in tomorrow's mail, USPS. So that's a typical night here at TJK HQ, also known as the world of VW Life. Well, VW Lifers, Gilbert's coming along. I'm really feeling like we're making a lot of good headway. Doing a bay window, there's a lot of pieces. We've got both doors broke down, all the pieces out of them, the glass is out. The good news is the doors are solid, the frames and everything, so these will just be, we'll have to just DA these, do some body work on that. I feel pretty good about that. Got a few holes we're gonna have to weld up from somebody had looked like had trucker mirrors on here. We'll do that next day or so, as we're kind of moving along. A couple things we noticed. One of our handles, this is a good one. You'll see this one's breaking too. See right down in there? You can see that little lever. That one's cracking on that. It's pretty standard. That's a aftermarket repop, but you can see. So that one's going to break there. So we're going to have to service a couple of new handles. Another thing, the lock mechanism on the driver's side. This pin here is missing, so you can't lock the door. Went on the Samba last night looking for some of these. Not this one, 015G is what I was looking for. But you notice everything once we get it cleaned up, ready to install. Only thing it needs is grease. Whatever we do. Another thing, just kind of put your bolts back where they go. Okay, that way you're not digging through a bunch of, like people have label a bag or something like that. Do that. If it's something that's not a captive, just put a nut on the back of it. That way you know exactly what bolt goes there. Mark down what side it is. Here's another example here. Okay, left. Oh, obviously these screw into the door. These bolts go into the door, but that way I've got the washers, everything ready to go. I'm not digging through a bag. I don't like digging through those bags. It just turns into a disaster. Here's another major thing last night we've worked on are these vent windows. The front vents, sandblasted the frames. They're really good. These are really good shape. I'm feeling pretty good about the two front vents. The side vent is a pretty common problem. They rot out. So at this point, we have like 3 options. Option 1 is to source a new frame for that side vent that goes on the back rear glass there in the front. That's option 1. Option 2 is to put in a full glass, just like on this side, okay, and do away with the vent. And then what I'm seeing a lot of people doing now, and the Bearded Wonder's doing it on Jesco, and that is they're putting in a piece of metal instead of glass that you can attach tools and stuff like that to, because you really can't see anything out of it because the closet's there anyhow on these. Is it on this?
No, the closet's
on this side on this one. Oh, that's right. So never mind. I would be on this side. You would do that. So we might end up doing that. We may switch the glass around. Hey, look at this. D-White the tow vehicle's in today. Look at this. We actually had I think we need to add some more Volkswagens on there.
Yeah, we need to add another camper.
Yeah. So Jake changed the oil and air filter in this, and then notice the grill's off. We're doing a little customizing today. So yeah, it's not always just Volkswagens. Shit. We've had this, I guess, about 2 years now. We've had D-White, and one of the things I want to do is I've wanted to paint the grill black. I don't know. It's just, as is, Matt Jackson says, paint it black, put it back. And look what I did to these front lenses. These lenses were clear, and I painted them with this super duper acrylic paint. So we'll see how that lasts. I'm going to shoot them with some clear, and hopefully that'll protect them a little bit. But that's where we are right now. Look, there's a lot of work to do. What I'm doing right now up here is checking the radio that was in this thing just to see if it's any good. If it's good, we'll probably install it. I'm cleaning up because it's kind of a vintage AM/FM cassette, so we'll see. If it doesn't work, we'll figure out something else. Going through there led to 7 other things that POs had ran a hot wire for the coil all the way to the ignition of the back. So why did they do that? I don't know. So obviously there's a break in the wiring to the original wiring or something like that. But what we got to do is we got to go in and do it right. So I'm not going to be running some long wire. I mean, it's an 18-foot wire. So sometimes a way around that is to do a hard start relay. So we'll see what happens. The magic. Ford? What's up with that? Good enough for Matt Jackson, good enough for me. That's the way I say it. Paint it black, put it back. We have a very fancy paint booth here at TJK HQ. Well, you know what? What did they say, that one guy about the Titanic as it was going under, the band kept playing, something like that? You know what? Gilbert needs a lot of work. And I'm a big believer. I've told you guys before, you got to do at least one thing a day on your bus or whatever you're restoring, whatever it is, just do one thing. So today's project is restoring this Westy table for Gilbert. Look, you can get a shot right here. Here's what happened. Looks like they've used the old hinges here had pulled through this laminate table. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to switch sides because this side's more solid, and then this piece of wood here is warped and all beat to heck. So I cut a new piece of wood, and so we're going to make a new Westy hinge table. Again, one thing a day. If you do one thing a day, you're going to be able to scratch something off your list, and you scratch something off your list, you're going to feel good about it. And right now where we are, we need things to feel good about ourselves and about things we're getting done. So
even the wildlife live the VW life here. We got a bird's nest inside of a hubcap. So Pops, you said you like to get one thing done a day on your stuff you're restoring?
Yep.
What about Johnson?
That's a different story. Johnson, as you can tell, has become, once again, it was so close. So close. Now it's back to being a storage shed.
Rumor has it has a motor and a transmission in it.
Oh, yeah, all it needs is a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's not too far, but as you can see, in order to get to Johnson, I gotta get this stuff out of the way. So.
And then that stuff, and then all this.
Yeah.
And there's a harvest beetle over there. And
yeah, and a Scirocco, and everything else that always goes on. So, yeah, that's the way it is. Rome wasn't built in a day. At least that's what they told me. I don't remember. I slept through it. We are fixing to have a Zoom meeting since we're here. Everybody's in the lockdown for VW Life. So we got Matt Jackson over at his place, Old Barry, Tommy at B. Smith at his house, and the Bearded Wonder at his house. You're going to be in back here at the house in your room, and I'm going to be here at my desk, and we're going to bring you guys a VW Life episode. We're going to ask some, just talk about what's going on. What we're working on, look at some viewer mail and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. On VW Live. We're not going to be going out and finding any... Hey VW Lifers, not everything is air cooled in this world. Look at Rocky 12, ladies and gentlemen. Coming along rather nicely, putting the trim on. And would you look in there, ladies and gentlemen, that, my friends, is a completed dash back together. This thing was completely in pieces. So it's coming along nicely. Even has a Heisenberg radio, original, plugged right in and worked. So that's what we're working on today on Rocky 12. These are some Scirocco parts that we're not going to be using, so we're going to put those in some tubs and store those because we're in the Scirocco business here. So let's mark some things off. What say you? Side trim installed with some good 3M tape. HVAC hooked up. Center console installed. Heisenberg steering column trim installed. That's pretty good. It's coming along nicely. Well, it's been a good week here at VW Life, TJK HQ under the quarantine lockdown. We've gotten a lot done. Made a heck of a lot of headway on Gilbert. I'm feeling pretty good about that. We found some things that you don't know until you pull the seals off some of this glass. So we're gonna do some little bit of more rush repair there, but nothing too major. I feel good about that. We've made some really good headway. Jake got lube on everything that we have here on site. So Jerry, Ziggy, and Kennedy all got fresh lube on the chassis with the grease gun. I've been working on Rocky 12 the last couple days, just making some headway on that, so I'm feeling really, really good about that. This coming week, we're going to do some work on Boomer, put a center pin replacement in on that, and Kennedy got some new stones, man, so that's pretty good, some new Firestones on Kennedy. So it's been a good week. Thank you guys for joining us. Just a kind of a day in the life of the Texas Junk Kings here at TJK HQ and VW Life. Make sure you subscribe. Tell your aunts, tell your uncles, tell everybody you know about VW Life. We do this for you guys, the VW community. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.